Babwebanter, Babwebanter.
Good afternoon, everybody. Babwebanter is back. Finally, gentlemen. We got Solo. Welcome, Solo. It's been a long time since reps.
It's been, man.
Mashi, how's it going?
Hey, all good, thank you.
Cool.
Good to
And
be
we
back,
got
guys.
JJ. Yeah, how's it going, JJ?
Matthew,
No, you well.
finally good to be back.
Hey, it's just been too long, eh?
Way
We
too
do apologize for the break, but busy lives and a lot going on. And yeah, most of our tours are finished. Cricket for this season is done. Our old borders are done. So yeah, we can do a bit of banter now. And what a good time. So let's start with the Sables yesterday, gentlemen. Sola, you watched the game?
I saw some clips.
Yeah.
That time I was at work, but an awesome victory after 23 years.
Yeah.
What a match. There's one move which everybody's talking about, where he had to dump two guys for dead, and also the defense, because it's always been a weakness, and for those guys to come up and put up a fight like that,
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
I think the new fly-off played really well, eh?
Yeah, he did. He had a good game yesterday. Still finding his feet, but I mean, that's what the Sabres' second game. The first one was against Uganda, second one against Namibia, and they're already showing a lot of promise there. Eh?
Mashi, did you watch the game?
I just saw clips of it, man.
Yeah.
But it's just such a good space for them to be in. As you know, all of us Zimbabweans were so patriotic, so it's just good to have our team.
I think every single group I'm on, it was going off, even if it's like, you're not allowed to talk about anything but farming. And also like, right, just everyone watching rugby.
I got a message from one of your guys on the farming group. saying,
Yeah.
we can join a group for rugby.
Yeah. So it was very good. So what I believe is that 3 of those imports aren't going to be available for the final.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. Isn't that Flower? He's from Australia, eh?
Yeah.
Dan Pryor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played really well. The kicking looked hard on the one side, but the other side seemed to be, maybe the wind was into them, and I think it was
wind
just,
direction.
Yeah. It's like sort of like when you play at Mutari, you have those tears coming out.
Yeah.
And then it has that wind, and you think you kick it, and you're like, oh yeah, and then it just
And
goes.
then it climbs.
Yeah.
Taken by the wind. Yeah.
So yeah, but same for both teams. No one can complain, I think. And yeah, I think he really brought, and I think a good fly-off like that brings up the defense so well. It helped them, his defensive structure and where he set them helped a lot. Because if you've got a fly-off, sort of stays back, but if you've got someone who's controlling, because their centers put in some monster.
They did.
I mean, it was all
They did.
over. And Sigalke had a blinder. I mean, his cross kick into the corner, a little kick in there. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was just great all round. Good for Zimbabwe rugby, and good luck to the Sables in the final. Good luck,
Absolutely.
Pete, and we hope you carry the boys through.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then South Africa. Tell us, JJ, what's going on there? Island tour was amazing, eh?
It was. I mean, a draw.
The draw.
It's a pity the Irish were too scared to play a third one, but anyway.
I think it's great for rugby. I mean, it really is.
It is. I mean, that first game they had, Springboks and Ireland, was it was a physical game, and true Rassie fashion. Play the first 60 minutes, and then bring on
The bomb squad.
the bomb squad one time.
One time. That split.
Shish.
4 forwards, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Seven forwards on one time.
Yeah, it was good.
And then obviously the Europeans
had
go ballistic. It's not safe for the game. And
Oh, let's be honest. They can do the same thing if they want.
They can.
Yeah.
And
so
to be
it's
honest,
same for both
Rossi is
teams,
cooking.
right?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So that's
it is. Lowe had a shocker that first game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then did he play the second? I don't know. But the other wing, the Irish, the tall blonde-haired lighty, I don't know who he was, but he was playing wing, and their fullback who came in were absolutely sublime. They were taking high balls and flipping. Hey, they really stepped up. So it's nice to see Ireland also have depth. That it's not just South Africa, as they say. And going to New Zealand, have called Sam Cane back for the next couple of games. What do you think it is to finish his 100 games?
Yeah, I think with him being All Blacks captain, and he's going to want to reach that 100 mark. I think he's got, 6 or 7 games to go.
Yeah.
But
maybe they need some leadership?
I would agree that I think it's more on the leadership side, because they've been on a rebuilding phase for quite some time at the moment, and it seems like the formula we can say it's 50-50. It's working, it's not working. So those guys, they bring stability and they bring confidence into the new players who are filling in into those roles and preparing for the World Cup.
And without the older boys who were there for the World Cup, now they've really got a void. Eh?
Yeah,
they do.
They do. And if you don't have that, even if he's not starting, but there, even in your training and let's be honest, his World Cup defense was absolutely phenomenal. He tackled. I mean, he really does. He just tackles and tackles and tackles. And I think if you don't have one of those who leads by example, it's going to be quite hard. So maybe he's going to claw his way back. Eh?
I think also.
Carry on, Moshi.
I think also, like as we said, new team, there's a big void with Razor also coming in and changing up things and trying out things. It's something that we've been talking about for years when it came to Sam Cane, because even when he became captain, there's all what we see, but clearly there is something that's there that we don't see, the behind the scenes that he's phenomenal of. And I would say, that's definitely bring him in for that.
I think it has become a norm, especially when there's that transition, when the older guys are going out and the new guys are coming in. And I think if you look back, even when John Smith was being retained as the captain for that World Cup and Matthew to come back, it was all to bring stability into the team. And if you look even at Rassi, he's continuing with that process of trying to keep the experienced guys as long as you can, even if you give them 15-20 minutes. But what it does is, even off the field, like what Masha said, they bring out a lot from these new guys and try to teach them the culture and the camaraderie and also what it means to wear that jersey and that badge.
But everyone acts like Sam Cane's old.
I know he's not.
When you look at there forever, that's the problem. But if you've been there through all of that, you've won, you've done things that people haven't done, and you're still that age. And he can reach the next World Cup, and playing abroad, like in Japan and stuff, it teaches you so much. And as a player, you can get so much better in your older age because of the diversity of learning all these new things that I think maybe Razor's seen something in him to say, well, let's bring him back and just see, because he could be a very different player. In that World Cup, he was exceptional. He stepped up beyond more than anyone could have thought he would. And I think he's still got another 4 years in him, that's for sure.
I believe that.
As they say, nothing beats experience.
No. With him and Adi there, I think they've got a solid. It's just, you lose a couple of the other boys and it starts to look a bit shaky. So, they need it. I think they need it.
And it was a close call between New Zealand and England in that first one. Half time they went in 10-10. And I think New Zealand won that game by, what was it?
Just like 2 points. 2 points.
The second one, I mean, England's fitness let them down. A couple of silly errors that cost them. But the scoreline did not reflect the game at all, because it was a very close game.
But JJ, would you agree with me that it's also time England starts to look into blending new players and the old guys? Because I think it's a reality they need to face and accept at the moment.
Yes, it is. I mean, we had Joe Marler on the pitch. He lasted 18 minutes and he was done. Not that he was injured, he was out of breath. He was like, I can't.
The gas was out.
That's what happens when you weigh 100 foot-second. Playing international rugby, it's not easy.
Not easy,
and then we'll go to your game this weekend. So you guys had a great win over Sports Club, eh?
Tell us, vice captain.
I think I'll start by what I've just said, that nothing beats experience. What we did there was just to play schoolboy rugby, the basics, and also get to accept the fact that our fitness levels were not that up to the Sports Club guys, but what we knew we could do is use of physicality and play the old way.
So you should just play Springbok style.
Springbok style.
That's our game.
It got your point, even their coach had to come when I was going off to tell me that you need to take it easy on our boys. We are killing them on the racks.
As Rassi would say, him up.
Exactly.
Blocks them, bro.
It was crazy that by the time even we left the field, the Sports Club around 10, they were still in the car park trying to figure out what has happened.
The Sports Club guys, eh?
Yeah, they were still in the car park 10 o'clock when I was driving out. And I could see them in the circle trying to still think what really happened. Because they got beaten by guys who doesn't train.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we do, eh?
That's the Baba's way.
Yeah, and Mashi and Sola, you were both there for the the Borders versus the St. John's Old Boys game. Was that a mother or what, eh?
Wow. What a game.
Marshy,
What a game.
can you just walk us through your part of the game there, my boy? What happened? You always have a cracker against Johns.
I always do. I always do. So after a long time of not getting any action, I have a clear opportunity to sidestep Keegan, a fellow barber.
Oh my God.
And the ball gets passed, and I was caught napping, and I dropped the ball, dead. And I think dead on the spot. Fortunately, it was a penalty, but still, it was still just so nerve-wracking because I was just like, come on! I just had one job to do. Step and go score the try.
The whole sideline was going, Marshy!
One job, Marshy.
Just one job. And it was the only time I got some action out of the 20 minutes I was on. And we've been talking. But it just shows you how brilliant the game was, because when you have, as you know, the old boys, old Johannians, they've become quite proud of themselves because they've just been going under. But us, the old borders, clinical, changed up our game plan. Our forwards, man, we've got to give it to them. The physicality was just, and it comes back to what you're saying, sort of old school. Because our boys just came in there. Because legit, if you were to watch the game, you see there's moments where we are on the sidelines as backline players, and we're just having a full-on conversation.
Yeah, it was a full-on forwards game.
We
really gathered to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was ish. I mean, we were bigger, but definitely not fitter. And they were young. They came out with a very young, almost international looking squad. I mean, most of those lighties played somewhere. And when we got there, the first two tries, and I checked out sitting under the pulse, and they were going, yes. And I ran on and I just said, listen, hey, just now the hits are going to start getting to them because they're going to feel it. And as much as they are running away with it, just calm down and let's stick to our game plan and let's keep it tight and let's start to use what we've got. And that like 1.8 tons that we had going in the front just started to flip and really get going. And then at the end, we managed to come away with the win. It was awesome. It was so great.
But also just shows you the mindset that we've been talking about in the previous Babwebanters. You notice when the youngsters don't listen and people don't listen, it's like play until the final whistle. John scored and they were already celebrating with 4 minutes to go in the game. And you remember Matthew came on, you're like, guys, you can. And we also spoke about it as a team all together. We're like, look, 4 minutes, we can easily score a try. We didn't expect to score 2. But in 4 minutes, we won that game. By scoring 2. So it just shows you like old school things.
It was great.
The guys I was standing with, they couldn't believe it that it was not a league game. They thought it was a Premier League game because the intensity, the ferocity of that match, and even the speed that match was played in. You can't believe it that some of those guys have been retired for a couple of years, man. So congrats, mates. That was a good win,
Borders,
man.
All the St. John's just came out of school last year.
That's very true. We'll look at the numbers again. Right, guys. And then, especially the numbers.
I'll put it down. If you put it on paper, no one would have given us a chance. But it was great.
It's a pity Parry couldn't join us for this.
Parry, word out there. Thanks for answering our messages, my bud. But we understand the pain.
We totally get it, Parry. Totally get it.
And we'll put up a highlight of the game on the show. And
which one are you going to put? Because there's plenty.
The one where we won.
I would say
and we'll catch up with you guys after the break.
Boys are kicking the ball off. They get it down into the Borders half. Oh, it's fumbled. They're picked up by big man Kingsley Lang. Oh, he knocks it out down. Then he goes for more. Gets breakfast, pudding and lunch in there. Oh, he stands up. Oh, he's not. Oh, someone's thrown a grenade. Oh, Kingsley Lang has 1, 2. Oh, snot squirters across the beak. But he doesn't even do any damage. That's the worst part.
Welcome back, everybody. Segment 2. We're going to discuss a bit of the schoolboy rugby. Soda, did you watch the St. John's versus Peterhouse at St. John's on Saturday?
Yes, it was humdinger. I can say both halves belongs to different two teams. But the biggest of all was the Peter's number 10.
Yeah.
With that hamstring, the way he was putting those moves and even trying from his own try line, trying to go to score a try on the other side. That was awesome stuff. And even the end of the game where it took Johns the last minute.
Was it the last minute? I've heard some stories that it was called 3 minutes early.
I went and asked the referee because the board was reading 2 more minutes before the full time, and he said the board's time was behind with 2 minutes. His time was accurate. But the biggest thing which I want to appreciate about that Saturday is the cancer awareness. That everybody came in and the pink and make sure that we are all on the same page about this disease which is just gouging our communities with no mercy. So for everyone to come out like that and support it,
well done. Mashi, did you watch it?
I watched part of it. As you know, we were coming off fines, so
so you kind of could watch it.
I kind of could watch it. We were all still in the mirrors, but again, a brilliant game. As you know, obviously, I think either side will have what they have to say, but as we said, it was just phenomenal from both sides.
It was balanced.
Very well balanced. It was hungry, considering also that the whole day Peterhouse had been winning. I think except for under 14s, and also with the hockey as well. I think first team hockey is the only one that won, and then obviously us Borders beating the old boys. Just have to say that again. and then the seconds also put in that pressure. I think really like Peterhouse were hungry, and Johns didn't see them coming because Johns, I think they believed, and everyone that I heard really believed that Johns was just going to win hands down, and Peterhouse.
Well, that's what they thought when they went to House, and they lost. And they had every opportunity to win that match, and they literally,
absolutely.
House held on to it at the end there. But so it's 1-1, and I suppose it's the same as the Island tour. I mean, the two top teams. But I say that there's top 3 teams. There is St. George's, and no one can say anything. St. George's, I think the only loss they've had is to Johns by like 1 point.
1 point.
My question is, so there used to be the Centenary Day, which was against Prince Edward. They don't do that anymore. Why aren't these games happening? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we'll try to get to the bottom of how this whole school thing works out, but we need to bring back the old ways so that more of those old derbies happen. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what Zimbabwe rugby is, and if we're going to lose that, because I mean, to Georgia's playing against someone who they're going to annihilate doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
I think actually, when you look at the current module and current system of the school's rugby, I don't think it's good for rugby and development of our players, because you've got a team like Wiseau who goes on put up a fight against St. George's, losing with 2 points. But Wiseau doesn't play against St. George, doesn't play against Lomagondi, doesn't play against Falcon. How do you get to that? I don't really understand it. I think we should allow these boys to enjoy their rugby, play each other, but also create maybe like what we've got in our Premier Division and the Division 1 division, where there's no need for allowing schools which are getting pumped 50-0 and the game ends before first half. Put them in their own category, but all these guys are pulling their weight. Put them in their own category, regardless of where they're situated or where they're coming from. Let them play each other. And also, one thing much, which I think we need to talk about, the scholarships of every player who's doing well in the lesser school, the next term is now being picked up with these big guys. So how does that balance out?
I think it's better for the player, to be honest. I do. I think it's giving them a better opportunity. You're playing in a squad format where you're training properly. All of those things that you get are all beneficial. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I think it's definitely beneficial. Moana he's organized how many? 60 players,
60 players
from from Form 1 to Upper 6 that he has put into teams that he's grading as well, which he's sponsoring for all the government schools. So I think we're going to see a better diversity coming out of the schools, and also the scholarship thing. I don't think it's harmful. I think it's beneficial.
I agree with you 100% on that one, because we need the players to get better facilities and also improve on the education. But my argument is ZRU doing enough to develop these players who are playing in, let's say, the Group B schools, which are not even getting a chance to showcase their talent on Mana or even on the...
Unfortunately, I don't think it falls under ZRU. it's individual schools as private schools are allowed to choose who they want to play against.
Where I'm coming from is during our days, let me take for cricket, for example. We used to play the Strugglers Week and all those tournaments, Coca-Cola tournaments and stuff. There was a system which was governed by Zimbabwe cricket, that a certain player, they're good, they get moved to the provincial side. They get moved now to Mashonaland Bs and Mashonaland Cs. And then from there, they're picked up with the clubs, which have better facilities and stuff. It gave everybody an opportunity. And even Tatena types were moved now from Screen Highfield to Chechu, where there's border training facilities and everything like that. The Zimbabwe Cricket Union overseeing this. Why can't we have the same with ZRU, so that these guys now, they get into a system and we watch their progression until they get to the Sevens level?
I think the one thing we need to figure out or find out is there a governing body for schoolboy rugby?
No, there's not.
But I think there should be. Because if there's already the ATS schools having this tournament.
We had this argument when we were at St. John. You register who you want to play with at ZRU. That's it. There's no, you tell ZRU who you want to play. That's it. There's no.
But surely as a governing body, ZRU as the rugby governing body,
as Mashonaland country districts, or as if they want to get like Craven Week sides or whatever going from that, yes, they've got the right to do that. But they can't tell a private school what to do. Or a government school for that fact. Well, I don't know how that works exactly, but a private school is a private school. It's a business, eh? And then you've got government schools, which are government schools. You can't tell them who they have to play. It's a school. It's unfortunate. They're private limited. You know, they can do what they want. So that's why Moana is good, because they've taken them out of the school into a team that is now not associated with the school.
But now that's private.
Mashonaland country districts. When you choose a Mashonaland team, a Madabilaland team, now that's what we should be doing. Is choosing the best of that.
Yes.
You have a government selected best team. So Mashonaland A, Mashonaland B, or you know, whatever, however you want to call it, they play each other. Madabilaland chooses the best of their government and the best of their private. Manikaland, that's how we used to do it, and then they all used to play. So we could see the best talent from all around, and then at least they're all playing each other. So there are other ways to structure this. You know, the thing is, you break it up into seasons where rugby is only 12 weeks. Right, let's get rid of first term and let's play rugby. Let's play rugby for the whole, from the beginning of the year until there, and then they go into exams, no problem. And you choose rugby players to be rugby players, and that's the end of that. And then you can really split it up, and we could open that door up to say, right, everyone can play more games home and away, and we could do 2 divisions and everything. So it is something I think we should look at. I don't know if anyone out there is more interested in helping us out with this, but let's try and get more rugby for rugby players, and I believe that it would really help Zimbabwe rugby, because cramming it into one small season is just it's not working. South Africa do it. They play from beginning of the year till end of this season, and then they do exams. So let's try to do that. It would be better, because then you're also coming into Craven Week when you've had a whole not 2 or 3 weeks of rugby, and then you get chosen. So it's a very good plan.
So get the ZRU president in, or
let's try
have a chat, because surely as a governing body,
they need to have a structure.
If Zimbabwe rugby falls under ZRU, the aim for most of these schoolboys is to reach
the under 17,
test
under
level, where they want to play for that, but eventually
they want to go
feed
to the
into the under 20s, under 21s, and then into the Sables. But surely
most of
to
this talent
play for Zim, ZRU should govern the game, so they know we've got so and so from Peterhouse, we've got so and so from Moleli High School, whatever.
The biggest issue is Simba Madzamba and all of those guys will have a whinge and say, oh, well, they don't want to play against Churchill. The problem is they don't keep their pitch up to scratch, okay? One issue, the 1 year, okay? The other year, they pitch up to St. John's Festival. They have one overage player. Now, I know it was only 1 year, and I know it was only one player. Unfortunately, that just puts
punished for
a blanket over the whole school, which is strictly about coaches and managers allowing that and not being strict on that. So it put a bad name on that, and it's gone back. PE had it some years back, and if it's one bad apple. Unfortunately, it does mess up the whole thing.
Didn't
Yes.
Churchill also like I remember even years ago, Gandhi. They got to Gandhi way after the playing times. And you
Yeah,
know,
that's what happens. And then they said, oh, we didn't have enough fuel or something like that.
Now,
Now,
I tell you a funny story on that one. Last year, my son was still at Gandhi. We had to donate fuel so that church can fuel their match at Gandhi.
now that's where the old boys come in.
Yeah.
And they need to raise funds.
Yeah.
But it's a long structure of the school needs to tell the old boys what they need for the year, and the old boys need to step in instead of whinging and on social media and saying, oh, this, that's the next thing, whatever. Actually go find out what's going on at your school. St. John's raised massive money from this old boys game and from everything. They raised huge money, and they do it's $3 a beer. They're making like $2.50 a beer, but the old boys will spend that money because it goes towards the school so that they can have fuel or keep their field or whatever it is. So it's going to be a step up, or where, like in Bulawayo, they use Hartsfield. They say, right, we can maintain one field. And that's our home field. So let's choose police grounds. Police grounds needs help. It's in the middle of town where everyone can pitch in. So why don't all the government schools pitch into police grounds? Police can even raise money. The government puts money into making police grounds the headquarters for all the schools. And that's where their home games are. And then if they need to travel, they can raise that money. But then it's much easier. You're not finding money to make your ground that good.
And it reminds me also of a time back in the day, like I'm sure even your time, like when I remember like Sables would play, or like when they're playing a big game, say if Sables playing early, because they're big boys, they play the last game, then you have all the schools you have. So I remember at Hartsfield, for example, Bulawayo was good at this. You know, you'd have Balkan versus CBC at Derby, like a big game like that, just before the Sables. But then also before that, you have all the other schools with the rivalries before that laid up on the certain team where it's like, yeah, it's a home game, but this will be at Hartsfield. So that's also very good for the game because the boys are seeing the seniors, but at the same time, all the schools are together. Showing
it makes you feel like insane when you're a kid and you get to go to those games. You know, and we need to bring that back. And one way or another, let's all put our heads together and let's try and make that.
Absolutely.
I like what you've just said. We need to have the mother body adopting one of these grounds. I'll give you an example again about cricket. Zimbabwe cricket adopts Prince Edward grounds. That's where most of the league games are played, and they maintain those grounds. They've got their senior groundsmen coming from Highlands Sports Club to maintain those grounds, so that these young lighties who are coming from a difficult background got a chance to play cricket and show their talent. So the moment JJ, I agree with you, there is this bridge between ZRU, ATS schools, then the minor competition and the government schools. I think that's why most of this talent only sit until 18 and it disappears.
And then it's gone.
It's gone. Because when they look up, they see no structure, no format, and they say, okay, I'd rather go represent another nation and do better.
I think maybe for the next banter, let's
try to get one of them in.
Let's get hold of someone from ZRU and just
absolutely
how it goes.
Especially now they've got a new committee. We need to hear what they've got in place to make sure that we sort this out. Because, for example, I've got my son who's already doing well in his rugby, and already I'm thinking about when am I going to ship him out? Instead of thinking when is he going to play for the Sables.
Exactly.
Look at Sigauke. He came here yesterday. What a blinder. I watched that boy since when he was at Lomagandhi, and now he's at Sharks. And you can see that there's a big difference of his game when he was here and I'm playing for the Sharks. But now look also, he needs to cement his place at Sharks.
But let's be honest, our under-20s, the structures that they've put in place, they've got a academy, and they've got the under-21s. D'Souza's done an amazing thing to also get them to that. So we just need to now take it a step down and get the guys that are playing younger than that, because Sigauke had to played Zim under-20s, and then he's been put into Zim, and it's fine. He's not going to, so it's fine. He can go train at Sharks, but he's playing for Zim, and that's the key. We need to get them playing in Leicester, playing wherever, but coming back to play for Babwe. So showing everyone that that's what's good, and they've gone through our structures into those structures, and they're playing for our country, which is fine. We have no problem with you going playing for Sharks, whatever, but you come back and play for us, and that's what we want, and we will have an amazing team as long as that keeps on happening. The biggest problem is normally he would have slipped through the cracks because there wasn't the under-20s, there wasn't the and then they weren't given a shot at Sables young enough and secured their future. And they can, and the good thing is they can make very good money playing club now. They don't have to go international and make money that way. They can make really good money and come back and play.
But also we need to improve on giving contracts to our senior players. With the money which is coming through the sponsors, at least we need our first 18 or 23, get them contracts. Get them earn money. Even if
there are definitely more than 30 or 40 major companies in Zimbabwe that can all support one player.
Yeah.
When you say, right, he's your player.
Yeah.
This is how much money you need to pay him a month. This is what you need to look after him, and that's how they need. That's how they can look at it. Instead of approaching one company and saying, right, we need $1 million. No, look, you go and vote for a player. You win him. He's yours. You buy him, and then you've got to look after him.
Absolutely. And so, don't you think also that should also? I know we're just thinking out of school, but I think before, because let's look at it. We look at the years that have passed, and I think something that we're missing clearly is we have so many boys from schoolboy rugby, because scholarships are fantastic, I believe, in the school structure, because it's taking guys from far out places that can't get the same opportunities that they can coming in. But then now what we are not realizing is a lot of our kids are getting scholarships overseas, and then so it's great that we're having that structure above, but then we need to catch them earlier, because once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah,
but like I said, that's what I'm saying. So D'Souza and them have it right at the under 20s.
Yeah,
we need to get but that's why Mwana's doing a good thing, because they're getting from Form 1 now. So let's try and get some younger academies going and working our way through. It's growing. We're going the right direction. Everyone is trying as hard as they can. We can only grow as fast as we can, and it's definitely showing. First time we've beaten Namibia in how many years? 23. It's so well up. Look, everybody, well done to Zimbabwe Rugby. I think we're on the right track. And let's all pull together and try and make it better. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to complain. I think it's a great result, and let's try get into this next World Cup. And we appreciate all your hard work out there, Sean, Pete, everybody else. And we will catch you guys next week, because we're going to do this every week from now on. And we appreciate you all for being with us, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.